but he maintains his unbeaten record, and it's a treble for Willie Mullins and Ruby Walsh.
See the Stars wins a 4th Guineas for Mick Cannan.
Okay, and welcome back. This is day 4 of our Cheltenham preview. We're obviously going to try and keep this one a little bit shorter than some of the others have been. We've just done the handicaps in the one before. That video will be uploaded. We're thinking about doing it Sunday and Monday, splitting it in half. So, but we're going to go for through the Friday, and hopefully we can. I don't like this day myself. I think I call it the Bookies Day, but I'm hoping it's not going to be this year because I've got a few fancies, and I'm sure the lads have too. So we'll crack on. We'll start with the Triumph. I'll start here, and basically I think that. I think a Zanahiyr could be parked up at NASA, to be honest, because this lad is an absolute rocket. Either that or at Area 51, because he's an absolute weapon. This lad is absolutely unbelievable, I think. And I think he's the one to beat. I don't know why he's not outright favourite. I respect Tritonic very much. He's a very good flat horse, rated 99, obviously. He definitely improved from his first start to his second when he battered Casalupi the last day, who I think Casalupi's okay, to be fair. I think can pick up a nice race maybe next season. He's yet to face proper class opponents. That's the only thing. I don't think Casalupi is any sort of grade. I think Zanahiyr would have done exactly the same, if not beat him further, to be honest, that field. And he's obviously beat the same horses, really. So
Casalupi is rated 67 on the flat. So
yeah, that's it. He should have been beating him by by going by flat ratings. And obviously Zanahiyr is rated in the early 80s. He's not got an official rating, I don't think, but he would have been rated in the early 80s. His last RPI was 82. That would put him around that mark. He won, so he would have gone up. So yeah, I think he's about 82 rated or something at the minute. He could have definitely got up to a horse within the mid-90s for me on the flat. I don't see the problem there with that. I wouldn't look into that, to be honest. He's won a fastly run race this season, obviously at Christmas. I mean, he put up an Arcona figure in that race, didn't he? I mean, he absolutely hammered them.
2 seconds quicker than the Royal Bond.
Yeah, he's just hammered them. I mean, if he puts up that performance, they won't see which way he's setting off here.
The drone footage was impeccable. From when he jumped the second last. St. Sam was just getting smaller and smaller in the picture.
Yeah, he just opened
slowly drifting out the back.
Then he won a slowly run race the last day where he kicked off. He had to have a turn of foot, showed his determination, showed his class, won easily there as well. I think he's done it on both ways. I think he's the one to beat. I think he's going to take a hell of a lot of beating. I think the ground sort of being, maybe good to soft is only going to suit him more. I think the fact that he's done it on softer ground shows, he's a flat horse. He'd be better. I think Tritonic would be better as well on sort of better ground. But I think Zanahiyr is an absolute rocket. And I think he'll be flying up that hill. I'll be surprised if anything beats him here. Calixios is a very decent horse. Connections are right to go here instead of the Boodles when he's been carrying top weight. He's got a sound each way chance. But if Zanahiyr was to beat him, I'd be bitterly, bitterly disappointed. If any of these beat this horse, I'll be gutted because I really think he's very good, and I can see him winning this really nicely. So Zanahiyr all the way for me for the rocket to lift off at Cheltenham on to start off Friday in the Triumph. So who wants to go first then for you two lads?
Yeah, I'll just back up what you said. I think this horse is a rocket. I'm on him.
I think he's parked at NASA as well.
Yeah, he's ready to go, ready for liftoff.
That's it.
Yeah, I can't say much more to what you said because my notes basically is word by word from what you had said there, just about the slowly run race, fast run race. Jack Kennedy raves about him all the time. Anytime he's asked about Zanahiyr, Calixios, no, Zanahiyr. So that's what he's going to be on. He's got gears to burn. Yeah, I think you put it right. You put it right. Tritonic has to be respected from. But then at the same time he's got to jump a hell of a lot better because his jumping wasn't too good in the donuts. But after the last, someone just stuck a turbo up his back end and he flew to the line. So yeah, he's definitely a big player. But Zanahiyr is the one to be on for me. Adagio is a good horse in his own right, but it's probably not up to the standards of the top 2 in the market here.
He needs softer ground as well, doesn't he? I think.
But yeah, but depending on what Zanahiyr does here, he could be a lively player in the champion hurdle market for next season if he wins with a rocket up his back end. But yeah, Zanahiyr wins.
I'm not too much different, to be honest with you. The thing I
Well,
like
three
about
for Zanahiyr.
just about. I'm not quite as confident as you boys are.
Oh, you don't think he should be? Where do you think Tesco car park he should be parked?
So maybe a Waitrose or something.
M&S car
obviously he absolutely battered St Sam at Fairyhouse, 14 odd lengths I think it turned out to be in the end. He then beat Bustleton, who obviously are back for the Boodles on the Tuesday. I think that was in the Knight Frank again at that one was at Leopardstown. Tritonic, which you've already pretty much touched on, I just couldn't have him at all. So, I mean, looking in the market, he's joints 9-4. I would have Tritonic at 5-6 to 1. The record of Adonis winners is horrendous.
What happened solo last year?
I think if you'd have had him at 5 or 6 to 1, I think I'd probably back Tritonic, to be honest.
Well, just looking back at some.
He's definitely going to come in the top 3, like, so you've evens for your place.
So listen to this one. You like this one then. The last 9 runnings of this race, no winner of the Adonis has placed in the top 3.
Wow.
So it's a pretty.
Although to be fair, how many of them were rated 99 on the flat?
No, that's true.
Tritonic will finish in the first 3.
The one thing with this is that Alan King has obviously won this before with very decent race horses and very decent flat horses moving over to timber. This is by far the best flat horse he's had running over hurdles, and he runs him in this.
He says that himself.
That is the one thing I'm scared about. He's run it before. He's won it before. I think he's up against a rocket here in Zanahiyr, definitely.
Not so convinced. I mean,
the only thing Alan King did say was he says he probably won't improve too much. He says that's probably him now. He won't get much better between now and the Triumph because,
Mark would tell you that. He ran to a mark of maybe £45 more than his flat. So that would tell you that.
Well, if he can't beat, if he can't improve past just beating a 67 rated horse on the flat, I'd have it. Let's go 7 to 1. I'll have him at.
Oh.
I think Quilixios.
I'll take the each way bet we after the call. All right.
Quilixios, I think, is going to be very, very close to Zanahiyr. I'd have him in his second favourite at maybe 3 to 1. I think he's. They interviewed Ruby after the race on Racing TV, and he basically said, "Look, that was very impressive, but has he got enough to beat Zanahiyr? Probably not." I think he was a bit too definitive on that. These horses haven't had loads and loads of runs. They've both still got plenty of improvement. I think Quilixios is going to get very, very close. That being said, I backed Zanahiyr, so
That being said, the closest he'll get is seeing his backside.
He might get that close.
Zanahiyr wins. That's it.
He might not see
Load up.
The only other one.
Get the wheelbarrow out. Paddy Parran coming for you right now.
The only other one I mentioned is Dufflecoat. So the horse has run 4 times, won 4 times. Now the question mark, the question mark is that last time, so he ran last in November, I think, winning a Triumph trial. They said he was injured. Then they said a couple of months ago he was touch and go, and then they haven't said anything since. So you'd have to take number on a no bet. But if you backed him at 16 to 1 and they got him back fit for this, I think that'd be a massive price. But like you say, he's more likely than not going to miss it, and probably one to watch out for next year, most definitely. He's got entries in the Ballymore and the Albert Bartlett as well. But I think if he did come to Cheltenham, he would probably come here. And if he does turn up 16 to 1, it's not going to be that on the day. But yeah, that's it. So I think Zanahiyr will win, but I think it won't be by more than maybe a length or 2.
Ooh. Well,
5 lengths for me.
What a bit, I will say one thing is there's a horse in here called Haute en Couleurs for Willie Mullins, who has never ran for Willie Mullins yet. It's another one of them on debut, and obviously he won it last year, in very fortunate style, you would say, but he did win it last year. The horse comes over from France. We don't know anything about him, but if he was to run, I think he's in the Donnelly colours. If he was to run, obviously he's 16 to 1 now. You've got to be interested if he does choose to run him. I wasn't sure whether he would go or not, but I've heard his name banded around a couple of times. So we've got to be interested in him. The Adagio thing I'll just touch on as well. I thought he needs soft ground here to be at his best, and I don't think he's going to be soft enough for him. And I'm not.
He'll not get close anyway.
No, yeah. So, well, we're all in on Zanahiyr then. There we go. 3 votes for the Rocket. Team NASA. That's what we are. Albert Bartlett then. We'll let you go here, Ben, if you want, because you fancy one, don't you? So we'll let you go in the Albert Bartlett.
I'm a big Statler fan. Although I'm probably talking out of my pocket more because after he won at Christmas, I backed him at 12-1. When
Yeah, it was 12-1.
Then Gavin Lynch decided to tip him up, and then he went in at 10s, and then went in at 8s. Yeah, I think this horse is really good. Like, I think the thing that impressed me most is that in Leopardstown back there a couple of weeks ago, like he really put it up to Gallard. He made him work for his victory. Like he went out and he set a really honest pace. Jumped all right in the hole. Like, yeah. So I think maybe this time they'll probably not go out and try and make all. I think they might set him in 4th or 5th. He's got a bit of class. He's got a turn of foot. He won quite nicely at Christmas against the Mer's novice winner, Dan. Plains of Antrim.
Yeah,
you like this one.
Loaded.
I threw this in here just to get you on the Statler train. Like,
I've got the same note written down. Tell Dan that beat Glens of Antrim.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, that's it. The wagon's been truly loaded.
So I think maybe if they set him in and come a bit of a late run, he's got a bit of class about him. And I think he's probably got enough to beat this lot. Quite interestingly, Ronnie Bartlett sponsors this race. Also, the owner of Statler. Willie Mullins said a few weeks ago he thinks his horse is good enough to win this race, so definitely be a shout. It'll not be at the top 3. I wouldn't have thought. I got 12-1. I think is he maybe 9-2 now. I don't know, because this is a quite open renewal. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not looking at it and have to say, like, looking something paper like, no, this is a good thing. But I think it's Statler's as close to good things you get. I think I want to mention a couple more. Just Alaphilippe, he deserves to take his chance. Yeah, like. Chance for Fergal O'Brien. He's won 4 out of 5 this season. Won a trial race for 14 lengths quite closely last time. So, like, you know, he doesn't go without a chance. Barbados Bucks also. He's well thought of by the Nichols team.
Yeah, Paddy Brennan mentioned Alaphilippe just to say. He mentioned him quite nicely on Sky Sports Racing. Just a ground for Alaphilippe. What do you think? Heavy ground? Do you think he was bottomless ground?
Yeah, I seen that the last day, and he just absolutely bombed through the heavy ground.
Plowed through it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, I think like
he's a fair price, isn't he?
Yeah, and Barbados Bucks as well. He's well thought up. The Nichols team won his last 3 starts, all over 3 mile. So he's got a chance. But look, this is an open renewal. I got Statler at 12, so I haven't had to stake much to have a nice slip. I'll not stake any more. But out of the 3 I mentioned, if anyone was looking to have a bet, I wouldn't put you off any of 3. But yes, Statler's got a bit of class about him. I think he'll take a lot of beating here. He'll take a good one to beat him anyway.
Yeah. George, what do you echo, or are you on a different level?
I'm a big fan of Statler. Yeah, I'll quickly just run through a couple beforehand though. So I quite like as an outside chance Ashdale Bob. So he was disappointing the last couple of times. He fell early on at Nace last time, and then he was back in 9th in that same race that Statler ran in. What was it? Something Lacey and Partners, isn't it? Something like that. The 2 times before that, he'd won one of them in a Grade 2, and he beat Fakira that day as well. So I think if he can improve his jumping from the last couple of times, I think you can get 25-1 at the minute. That looks like a very big price. Torygraph still goes in this. Obviously powered away at Thurles last time and jumped terribly. So you'd like to think that if he jumps better than that, he would go very well. Just one last thing on him as well. He won at Fairyhouse the time before, and the second in that race, I think, was called Velvet Elvis. Won the next 2 starts. So
he smashed him, didn't he?
It's very solid form. I wouldn't put you off. I mean, it's a bit scummy, isn't it? But 8-1 each way, I think.
Wow, no, 8-1. I like a bit 8-1 each way.
Can't see that out of the places. Well, I'll quickly touch on Barbados Bucks. Paul Nicholls' runner. He's obviously been backed from 14, 16, half of that now into 7s. The price on him's obviously, it's gone. He has won his last 3, but the horse he beat last time out jumped awfully and then drifted off to the side, so I wouldn't give that much. He won a race at Southall at 4-7. He only scraped home, basically, to be honest with you. If it's 14-1, I think you got a great each way bet. 7-1, I would avoid. And then we get on to Statler. So obviously he led in that race that we've gone through already. Ended up third behind Gaillard Demency and Gentleman's Game. He's got the
Yeah,
beating.
I would have liked Gentleman's Game if he turned up here, but I think they've avoided this here. But he would have been in with a right. He had been in with a right good chance if he turned up here.
I had a good bet on Gentleman's Game for this race. Luckily, non-run and no bet, so that was the first refund I got of the year.
Not to be the last.
Not to be the last. Based on that, he's got the beating of Fakira. They both ran off the same weight there. Can't see that being turned around. Obviously, we've mentioned about Glens of Antrim. Good form there. Another bonus, I suppose.
He did beat Glens of Antrim quite easily that day at Punchestown, like he did.
It wasn't pushing him.
It wasn't. Yeah, that's what I would say. The last thing, obviously, he'll be up there. You would have thought with the leaders or tracking them a little bit out of trouble. I think Willie's next in the market in this race would be the Richies and Golo. So you would think Paul Tannham would ride this, which is obviously a bonus, seeing as he's a shoe-in for top jockey this year. You say.
I think he might ride Statler.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Yeah, he'll be riding.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant Angolo. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Similar to Ben, to be honest with you. I had a bit of a bet on him at a slightly bigger price. He's 11-2 when I wrote this yesterday, and is now best price 5s. But I think that's still a very fair price. 5-1, you could on the nose, and I think he wins. Ashdown Bob as an outsider at 25s, but I think Statler's probably got the beating of these.
Yeah, it could be. I think it's going to be 3 votes for Statler again. For another one here, we're agreeing on. I don't suppose we'll agree on the next race, but we will agree on this one. I think Statler's. I think he's got a very fair chance here. I've backed him. Obviously, I've had 12s, but only in a lucky 31, not as a single. I backed him as a single each way at a shorter price, but not the price he's now. A little bit bigger than he was now. I think he's got a very good chance each way. I thought he was very solid, and I thought at 6-1 he was one of the best each way bets of the week, to be honest, because I just don't think he'd be out of the frame. The thing is with it, I will say one thing. He's been getting a bit of a slagging on the preview night circuit, which was a little bit it was a little bit concerning. I know the Mullins boys themselves, the riders, weren't keen on him. They weren't so sure he was a stronger stayer, and they thought he could have dropped back in trip. I thought he was just sort of plugging on at the end. I just think he got done for a turn of foot. Obviously, he tried. He was the only horse that really tried to beat Gaillard Dominion, like you said, Ben, last time. I think that puts him in. He stayed up. I was glad to see him come third, basically.
Form. That's very good form.
And I was very glad.
I think he wins the Ballymore, but it wouldn't surprise me if Bob Oliver beat him. But there's not going to be 15, 20 lengths in it. Like,
no, I think no, he's going to run a good race in Ballymore, isn't he? Like you say, I think he did. What impressed me and what I was really happy about for this race was that he stuck at it to finish third. He didn't weaken away. I think that provides good optimism for this 3-mile trip. Willie knows his stuff, so he'll know. And there's a bit of class about him, which, a few years ago, you'd have been saying for the Albert Bartlett, you don't want these classy horses. You don't want horses that run in a good races. You just want one with, a load of figures next to its name that's been running consistent, that's just going to plough through it. The ground's going to be pretty different this year, you would say, for the first time in a while. And you'd also say that the last few years, they've been pretty classy. Obviously, last year's renewals turned out to be very classy. With Monkfish winning it, Time Hill in behind as well. Obviously, he doesn't go, but it was a classy renewal last year. The classy horses came to the fore, and I thought he ran a blinder at Dublin Racing Festival. To be honest, I thought he was tap for toe, and I think he can run a big race here each way. Obviously, now more on the nose, really, but Fakira is a big danger. He'd be the one that I'm scared about, because he was ridden in the rear at the Dublin Racing Festival, came through it, finished 4th, stayed on well that day. Definitely going to step up for this trip here, this move to 3 miles. It's definitely the right move. He will stay this trip very well.
Stick him in the Grand National. He's staying to the Mara.
Yeah, he does look like a very, very strong stayer. That's the danger. He's the typical Albert Bartlett horse, isn't he? He's got a load of figures to his name. He's very consistent, and he'll stay this trip very well. Same with Alaphilippe, really. Another one that stays very well. I just thought the ground would come up wrong for Alaphilippe. Torygraph, I don't know. I don't know what to think about this horse. Either. I don't know whether to be thinking, this horse 8-1. How is this horse 8-1? Because on the figures and the way he's done it, he's an awesome chance. But I don't know what it is about him. I don't know. I just in my head, I've got it that he's not going to win, but he's got a massive shout on the figure he put up 2 starts ago. How he won that race was brilliant. That would put him in with a real shout here. And like you say, the form worked out. Barbados Bucks, I don't think he's going to be good enough for these Irish horses. I think the Irish have got this. Like I say, for the British, I think Alaphilippe's the best chance. Paddy Brennan gave him a nice word the other day on Sky Sports Racing. But I think for me, Statler and Fakir are the ones. Obviously, the top 2 in the market, but they're the ones. And, Statler at 6s was a bit better price. 9-2, I'm not so sure. You might get better on the day. You might get shorter. I'm not sure how this market's going to go. Depends what lines up. But, yeah, Statler for me. In that, so we move on to the Gold Cup, and we'll have to start.
We'll leave it to last.
We oh no, yeah. Well, do you want to leave it to last? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll leave it to last.
Yeah. Well, we'll move on to.
Let's talk about the mighty Foxhunters.
Let's talk about the Foxhunters.
Should we skip the Foxhunters?
You were going to.
No, let's go. Let's indulge into this wonderful race.
We were going to go first with you on the Gold Cup there, George, but now you've got first on the Foxhunters. So good luck with that one, buddy.
Come on, George. I need a winner. Come on, inspire me.
Look, you can tell I'm not a big fan of this race. Obviously, the last few winners we've seen, 66s, 7-2, which obviously they're a bit of an anomaly. 25-1, 16-1. I think and I do apologise because I can't remember what podcast it was on, but somebody had mentioned a stat where if you'd backed every single runner in every single Foxhunters at the Betfair SP, you'd be up miles because it's always an outsider that wins this thing. Obviously, you got Billaway is probably the favourite.
Can't jump.
Would have won this last year if it came to pass. Wouldn't have won at 66s. He made a couple of jumping errors last time out, so I'm not too keen on him. You got Boum Photo, who's only had 1 run this season, won by 17 lengths. I don't think we can take much off that.
It's impressive.
He was very impressive. He'll definitely stay the distance as well. Yeah. So I think that's
he just has to back it up now.
Yeah, he's got a chance.
Yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't put you off backing it came to pass to win it again. Obviously, the only problem with him is that half the time he unseats, the other half he wins. So you just got to be on the right side of him there. The one horse that I will actually put up for this one is a horse called Mr. Mantilla. Again, probably one that a lot of people have never heard of. He's never raced under rules. He's had 6 points, won 5 of them.
What price is this?
Not as good as you think. So, he's beaten some decent-looking horses. His last run got him an RPR of 112, which would put him way behind nearly all of these.
It's points, though, isn't it?
It's points. So, you basically just ignore that. But yeah, he's won 5 or 6. He's beat some decent-looking horses, and he's 25-1. So, I think in a race that you generally tend to ignore most of the front in the market.
He's the right price then.
You're looking for an angle, aren't you? And I think this is, as is often the case in Foxhunters, you get these horses that come from pointing in the UK and Ireland and tend to run pretty well. So yeah, Mr. Mantia, 25-1. Not sure if he runs, but you can get non-run and no bet 25, so there's no problem there.
Yep. What do you think, Ben?
Well, I just started off my notes by saying, do not like this race, does not appeal to me at all in capital letters and with 3 exclamation marks.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm going to write off Billaway. Billaway, I'd be very surprised if he wins. That's a bold statement, but he can't jump. You know what? He's improved a wee bit this year, but like last year, he just was making jumping error after jumping error. Yes, he done well to finish 10 lengths behind. He came to pass.
Yeah,
but
if he could jump,
if he could jump, 11-4 is a good thing.
Yeah. Oh, if he could jump, he'd win it.
I wouldn't like to be back in 11-4 on praying that he can jump. I'm going to put up 2 small each way bets. Stalker Wallace, I think he could run it. He ran well last year. I think he was 4th, but he's been getting closer to Billaway this year and only be between a quarter lengths last time out. So like there is a chance he could turn the form around. Like, do you know what I mean? Like Billaway can't jump, so if Billaway turns up and jumps like a pig, and he's either fail or gets pulled up. Stalker Wallace could bring in one of the best form lines. But yeah, like I haven't looked at this race for long, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think he just definitely isn't getting the respect he deserves in the market. 8-1 and Billaway's 11-4, 2.25 quarter lengths, and Billaway can't jump. But And one I'm going to put up at 16-1. Paul Nichols has quite a good record in this race. So if Shamroon shows up here, I think 16-1 could be big enough.
Funny
That
now,
one, David Maxwell's one, isn't it? He's not in. That's Bob and Co. I know he owns that one, but
yeah, Shamroon 16-1.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's not a race that I'll be getting involved in. To be honest, I really don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking this I was thinking this the other day. I put that Lucky 31 on that obviously I've showed you guys that's looking pretty nice.
Yeah.
The face spitter that it is. And for some bizarre reason, if they all did win, which they won't, but if they all did, I'd be waiting on It Came to Pass to repeat the feat in the Foxhunters Chase. What I would do there, I've got no idea. I mean, I'd be sitting on a deposit by then, guaranteed if the others won anyway for a house. But you know, with this one, I could buy a house if it came to pass. Whether I want to be sitting waiting on It Came to Pass trying to win for a house.
To unseen at the last or something, 5 lengths clear and cease at the last.
Whether I really want to do that, I've got no idea. I think with him, the ground is very key. Obviously, he likes the course. I mean, he could have went round twice last year and still won by a mile. Probably beaten by a further if he went round twice last year. He's clearly a very useful hunter chaser on his day, and he'll have the beaten at ease if he repeats the form of last season. It's not going to take anything more than that. It's not a better race than it was last season. We can see that with Billaway as the clear market leader. The same horses in here. He likes better ground. And I think if it came up good to soft, he'd have a right chance. He's about 9-1. So we throw in as the each way. I love the whole repeat the feat jobbies at Cheltenham, coming back, you know, when they've won the season before or won the same race, coming back trying to win it again. I love it. And I think he's got a decent chance anyway in a very open renewal. The other one that I thought he's a shorter price, but is a big danger is Bob and Co. For David Maxwell. Obviously buys these sort of horses. He is very useful, Bob and Co. I think he used to be very useful as well, didn't he? As a proper chaser, if you like. So he's a useful one for this sort of sphere, if you like. And Staker Wallace as well. Obviously, yeah, Ben mentioned him, but he's a chance as well, given he's 8-1 and Billaway's 5-2, 11-4. So, but for me, I'm going to go with It Came to Pass. I mean, I say hopefully. I'm not waiting on it for the house, but hopefully I am, and I have to make that decision. But yeah, I think we'll just leave it at that and see what happens there. So we'll move on. Hey,
the famous Mares Chase.
Yeah, the famous.
What are we calling this? The Elimay Express.
Yeah. So if you want, I mean, we'll crack on with you then, Ben. Obviously, the Mares Chase this year and the newly added Mares Chase. What we thinking?
Titled in mine one as All Aboard the Elimay Express. I think she brings the best form in the race. Aloe only beat her with 3 lengths last time out, and they were miles clear 2 starts ago. And then obviously Elimay came out and won again a few weeks ago.
Should be shot.
And Aloe was obviously a good horse in his own right, like you know. And then
yeah, it could be
right. She went and beat Shattered Love, who's next in the betting, and was giving her £5, and she's only giving her £3 this time around. So I don't see that form being turned around anytime soon. Colby. I put in inverted commas, Colby won't run. I think she's going on Sunday. She hasn't been declared for this Sunday's race. Well, we don't know if she's still going to go or not. But
David Jennings will be all over that then on that.
Yeah.
She'd be loving it.
I'm looking forward to seeing what he had to say on that up in the ante thing. And he's probably dancing about the room.
Yeah, he tipped over 16s or something.
Yeah. I think if Colby doesn't win here, if Colby doesn't run here, Elimay is going to be money. And Tony Mullins usually gets the banker of the year spot on, and that's his banker of the year. So maybe Willie's told him something that we don't know. But yeah, Magic Light and Annie Mac are decent horses in their own right too, but they'll not cause much problems here. I think Annie Mac could probably get closest to Elimay. But my final line is 2 things that seem to bode so well at Cheltenham is Willie Mullins and Mares events at Cheltenham. And on the first one of this race, he'll look to get off to the perfect start with and end the finale of the festival with the winner of the new race.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys know by now that my nap of the week is Elimay. I think she is. I'll be on my knees, hands in my head, if she loses this. She is a good thing in this, man. Like, surely to God, she wins this. I hate saying, you know, horses are good things and giving it the big and, because you're basically upping yourself for a fall when it doesn't win. But if Elimay, by God, if Elimay loses this, will not believe it. I really will not believe it. She's far better than these. She's improving with every single run this season. She's not very big, but I tell you what, by God, she's got a heart of gold. And
good jumper as well.
Yeah, and she's a battler. She looked to get a bit outpaced in the last day.
But she came home on the bridle. Simple as that.
She's bloody miles better than these. She's just miles better. I mean, come on. I mean, even now, right, with Colreevy in, forget about it. Why even bother running it? Because she won't win. So, Colreevy has been to Cheltenham, not done it before. Elimay has never been yet. She'll do it. She'll do the business here. Bloody Tony Mullins is right. Banker. And look, she'd, like you said, Shattered Love. The thing is with the Shattered Love angle is, look, she's a very good each way bet, Shattered Love. I think she bet 8-1. That's a cracking each way bet. She's a former JLT winner.
She'll not win the form round.
No, I don't think she will. Obviously, I don't think she will. I think she might be beaten even further this time. But the thing is, the angle with her is she's obviously got festival form, the JLT. I think she's overpriced, Colreevy at 3-1. Shattered Love. I could see Shattered Love finishing second. I don't get why Shattered Love's 8-1. I think if you did really fancy Elimay like me, depending on how the week's gone, I might have a little saver, or an each way sort of bet on Shattered Love. But I'm confident enough to think that I don't need
I know
to do
where
that.
Wheelbarrow is, though.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I know. You'll know by that time whether I've had a decent week or not. But look, Shattered Love, obviously, like I said, JLT winner, impressive that day, and the step up to 2 mile 4 will suit her. So that's where the other angle was coming from, isn't it? The step up in trip. But the thing is with Elimay, the step up in trip's just going to suit her just as well. So I don't see, like I said, she looked outpaced at the first mile. She looked, she was a little bit off the bridle, wasn't she? Just trying to kick her back in. Don't worry about it. Straight the last. Pings it. Straight up the hill. Lovely stuff. 5 and 6. Clear away. Wheel away. And I think she'll win this easily.
Yeah.
Look,
this race has taken a fair bit of flack in its inaugural year. I suppose you could say a lot of people not happy that it's here.
It won't be when Elimay is the best winner of the bloody festival.
I like the race. I think it's a great idea. I won't touch too much on Elimay. You've gone through all her form. We can clearly see why she should be the one. Just an interesting point on Colreevy, who was shorter on Betfair earlier. The last price she was matched at was 7.2, and the only back money is at 16. I see here that she has just got an entry for the Fairy House Gold Cup on the 4th of April.
Well, I mean, she might go for both.
Yeah, possibly. She'd get a £7 allowance in that as well, obviously. So I would say at this point, what are we, a week out now? I would say
she'll not be there.
She's more than likely to not be there. But obviously that can all change. Annie Mac, you've touched on again. I think she's a very good horse in her own right, but she's not quite up to winning this.
I think she needs soft ground as well.
Yeah.
I think she needs soft ground to even get within 10 lengths of Elimay. She's going to need it to hammer it down for 2 days. You're going to need nowhere in the arc.
I'll mention one horse just in case she does run here. So she's not, but just in case, just so I look a bit smarter. And that's Robin DiCarlo, Willie Mullins' mare. She's been off obviously for a year and a half or so.
Yeah.
And she had a pretty serious setback at the beginning of last year, I think it was. And we haven't heard anything from Willie or from anyone since October. So she's quite a way,
All right.
to coming back here.
Sorry about that.
No, you're all right. Yeah. No, I just mentioned, so Robin DiCarlo, look, she was injured ages ago. We haven't heard anything in ages. If for any reason she is back and she comes here, she's got a massive, massive chance on her old form. But without that, Elimay 7-4, like you say, she's going to be
George, I already know you've got the wheelbarrow loaded up.
She's going to be a hell of a lot shorter than 7-4. I can see this mare going off at 8-15 on the day.
Well, I think this is I mean, obviously we were laughing about, Glens of Antrim is the JP bank. This is JP's banker of the week for me. This is JP's banker. He loves a winner. Obviously, he wants to try and get.
He'll have a handicap or two lined up somewhere.
Oh, he will. But obviously, as a banker, last year it was Epperton. She was the banker. She wasn't getting beat. They couldn't have a beat. And I'm getting the vibes this year that Elimay strongly is JP's banker. I think it'd be on her at a price. I think she's the banker, and she won't win. She won't lose. She won't lose this. So don't worry about it. Let's move on. It's done. We will have a winner on Friday. It will be Elimay.
You double with Zanahiyr, don't you?
Yeah.
Say.
This is it. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, I've
Well,
got
the other winner's parked up at NASA.
The nap. Friday is usually my day to, chill out, kick up. I could be waiting on the house. It came to pass. I could be not even cracking off the beers. I could be cracking off the champagne. But no, I'll probably be Tesco own brand cider or something. But we move on then to the main attraction of the week and obviously of the Friday, the Gold Cup, which I mistakenly was going to do about before the Foxhunters. Just to preview the big races last. But
they should run the Foxhunters on Monday. Get it out of the way.
Nobody even looking. But the Gold Cup then. Who wants to start? I won't kick it off because I've got something drivel to say. But we'll kick it off with George then.
Yeah. I'll touch on a few runners. This is the race of the week, isn't it? But then again, I don't think it's the betting heat of the week. Obviously, you've got Boum Photo. He's the right favourite. He's won it the last 2 years. One start this season where he absolutely cantered round. I think he beat Acapella Bourgeois, if I remember correctly. He beat Santini and Neck last year. If you think he's going to run to that exact same level this year, Champ, Aplutard, 2 horses that didn't run in it last year, of course, both running in respective races. I don't think that would be good enough. Then again, Boum Photo generally tends to be one of those horses where, he beats Santini and Neck. You wouldn't put it past him to win it this year again by a neck or a head. He's a pretty good battler. Champ that obviously touched on there, you can have a go at me here if you like, but I just don't understand why Nicky's run him so close to Cheltenham and then son. Oh yeah, but it's 2 miles. He'll recover better. Yeah, he will, but he should have had a prep run ages ago. No horse has done the RSA Gold Cup double in the last 6 attempts. Obviously, that was before Lord Windermere and Bobsworth, I think, the year before. He'll stay the distance. And, to be honest with you, he looked good over 2 miles the other week. So, chuck him in the Arkle. But I might be going against a lot of people here. I just don't think he's going to win this. Aplutard, I'm very keen on, though. Obviously, a good third in last year's Ryanair. He beat, was it Kemboy, Alaho, and a few others.
I don't know was or not.
Oh no, sorry. I'm talking about a different race. I've moved on. in the Savills, yeah.
Kemboy.
Melon as well. Melon, yeah, that was the one. I was quite impressed how he finished that off. Obviously, he only just got up in the end, but he powered home. At the end, he's got the course form. Obviously, he placed here last year. I think he won the Close Brothers the year before that. Whatever that's called this year. I think he's a stronger challenger than Santini. He's got the turn of foot at the end. Santini's a boat. Chuck him over 8 miles and he'll be outpaced. Whereas you get Aplutard, I think the best way to put it is that Aplutard this year, drop that horse into last year's Gold Cup, wins it. I would think if it runs to a similar level, I think he wins it this year. Manila Indo was beaten easily by Kemboy in the Irish Gold Cup. I don't think
doesn't jump good enough.
No, I don't think quite good enough at this.
He didn't the last day anyway, did he?
I think Kemboy will go very well. Obviously, winning that Irish Gold Cup.
What a horse!
He was only just nailed on the line by Aplutard, so I think
no way.
Go on, Kemboy.
Couldn't have him in a million Sundays.
See, I think he's looking as good as ever.
What price is he?
10 to 1.
10 to 1, 11 to 1. Obviously, the one thing that you wouldn't like is that he's had 4 runs at Cheltenham and he's not placed. Tends to show his best.
He will not do it again.
But I really like Ken Boy, so I wouldn't put anyone off backing him each way. I think Native River will obviously make the pace here. It's 14 to 1 each way. You've got worse bets. He'll need the rain to win it, but I think he could place even with good to soft. I would have loved to have seen Royal Pagaille here. Obviously, he's the higher.
There's still
a chance. I think there's a chance.
There's still,
more of a chance than there was a couple of days ago. I think.
I obviously know about the. Obviously, I've got a mate that is well in with the Venetia Williams Yard, and I don't know what is going on for the exchanges because they have made no decision at all. It's 50-50. So what is happening with the exchange move? I don't know where it's come from because
he's rated 166.
They must have some kind of notion though because they've got to declare on Sunday morning.
Well, I mean, not that I know of.
No, bastard. I mean, no, I'm not saying that you're like said, but I'm saying like they've got to get a move on because time's running out.
Oh yeah, they've got to make up their mind within the next day. But the latest I know, which obviously was yesterday, to be fair, so they could have had some today, but they hadn't even spoken. So to obviously Rich Ritchie.
Yeah, I mean, look,
they didn't know.
Put him on. If we're going based solely on ratings, he's rated higher than Envoy Allen, higher than Monkfish.
Obviously, he's the highest rated chaser in Britain and Ireland.
He's the highest novice chaser, isn't he?
So yeah, that's right.
I would. The one thing that I think you'll run into if you're backing him anti-post is that if he goes to that national hunt chase, he wins it easily. With Ritchie having quite a few top chances in the top races this year, he might just look to bank that one on day one, as I think we previously mentioned. If you were to sort of squeeze me in and stop giving everything a chance, I think A Plus Tard is the one that could improve to win this. And if you want one each way, despite unplacing in 4 rides at Cheltenham, I think Ken Boy could surprise us.
I thought you was going to say Native River then, give you a clap, but Ken Boy. No.
Yeah, I'll pick it up from here. The question is, can Boum Photo replicate best mate and win 3 Gold Cups in a row? He definitely can. There's no doubt about that. But then I just feel like there's not absolutely 0 issues against Boum Photo, but I just feel like he could be suspect to a potential improver, young improving horse. Like A Plus Tard. Well, when I was sitting in November after he lost to Castle Grace Paddy, I didn't think there was any. I think this horse could win a Gold Cup.
Yeah,
but he looked to love every yard of 3 mile in the saddles, and he's doing his best work at the finish, which would say to me, going over further is going to be no issue. Got a bit of speed as he beat Jacqueline Perswell over 2 miles Christmas last year. Year before, and he jumps fine, all right, and they've kept him fresh for this race. So Henry must think he's put Rachel on board. I think if he stays, he's got what he takes to win this. Santini, the boat, as I wrote here, might enjoy this as Frodon and Native River will set up a good pace at the front, and Santini stays all day.
Well,
so
he's got a chance. 2 miles. Frodon will be pulled up by the 3rd mile.
And as I was going to say, we mentioned to my friend Ken Boy. I've backed this horse since it fell 3 years ago in the Irish National. Every race since, he's won me a fair few quid.
And he won't win you a fair few quid here, unfortunately.
No. See when it comes to these type of races, I just have about a tenner. I have a wee tenner on it, just a wee saver from a wee friend Ken Boy. But no, I think A Plus Tard. Yeah, I'm going to take a chance on A Plus Tard at 7 to 1. But I'd love to see it for the history books. I'd love to see Boum Photo win, and I wouldn't mind having the losing slip on A Plus Tard if it meant that Boum Photo would win this race.
Yeah, very well said. I mean, I'm all in. I love Boum Photo. I think he's brilliant. I think he's really, really good, and I think
no doubt not. What a racehorse.
Oh yeah, and I think he'll do it. I'd be worried about A Plus Tard. I think he's definitely the main danger. Like you said, his Savills chase performance was really pretty eye-taking, really, wasn't it? I mean, eye-catching, sorry, and
he made up some ground in the home bend.
Yeah, he showed a bit.
Mellon and Ken Boy were absolutely pouring it on out in front.
Yeah, he kicked.
Absolutely pouring it on.
He clearly stays very well.
Yeah, no problem up the hill either. Whereas you
No.
look at that Gold Cup last year, and nearly all of them were struggling up the hill. I mean, you could even say including Boum Photo.
The thing is with last year,
looks like they were paddling across the Thames.
The thing is with last year, right? Boum Photo is no where would you? I thought he did remarkably well to win that last year. If he was going to get beat, he would have been beat last year. I don't think he gets beat this year, because I think if he would have, unless Aplutar is just a better horse, I don't think Champ is as good as him. I don't think he. I'd be worried about.
I didn't even mention Champ in my preview.
I'd be worried about him settling.
Yeah, but even see the thing that Champ is, right? See this rejuvenated Champ. What around the jumping, right? He got the run of the race up in the front in that 2 miler a few weeks back. School Royal, the only horse to put him under pressure, 2 fences out, jumped the second last. Okay, what did he do last? He near crouched at the last. Once this horse gets put under pressure, horses around him, he can't jump. He's not.
I think he's got a better chance.
Many fences are in the Gold Cup, 22. I wouldn't want to be trusting my money on Champ to jump 22 fences perfectly.
Not at 5.
You know what? Say if he makes a handful of mistakes, boom, gone.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. I have to agree, and I'd be worried about him settling as well. They're going to have to try and settle him, because even Nicky said he was a bit worried about him settling. He's obviously ran over 2 miles. He went from the front, so he went hell for leather as quick as he wanted to, as he could have possibly gone. And
he's under no pressure either. He's jumping at his own leisure.
Yeah, look, he ran a very good race. He went as quick as he could have went, and here I'm not so keen about it now. When you go back to a 3.25 miles race, I'll tell you what. Aplutar, like I say, I'm worried of him. Boum Photo won a race 2 years ago that was very well run. He careered away. He absolutely hosed up, easy, right? Repeats that. There's only one winner. Last year, slowly run race, very slow. You know, they quickened. Look at Real Steel, for Christ. 2 out. That thing's on the bridle.
Cruising.
2 out. Real Steel.
Brian Hughes was swinging in the saddle.
Steel was swinging.
He was counting his cash, weren't he, Brian Hughes?
Oh my God, Brian Hughes must have had a 10 seconds of euphoria, thinking, "Oh my God, I'm going to win on 66-1 Real Steel." You know, no, I can't have it. I thought he did brilliant to win that race. Santini as well. Oh my God, he ran some race. What has happened to him this year, really? But I'll get on him a second. But he ran some race. You know, them two are the big players here. I thought they did terrifically well to get off quick enough that, and to, you know, Boum Photo I thought they did really well to get up that hill as they did. And yeah, I thought he did really well, Boum Photo, last year. It was a bit like, he's only just scraped home from Santini. But if you look at the figures of that race, they went so slow in terms of a Gold Cup. This year it'll be more frenetic. You've got Native River, you've got Frodon up front. They're going to go a much better clip.
You can easily see Frodon challenging Native River right up there.
Well, I mean,
saw a few starts back where he'd done it for a couple of miles and then just couldn't hang with Native River, and you could definitely see something like that again, where a very strong pace is forced.
I think Frodon will lead probably to about four fences in, and then Native River's just going to be there alongside him, and he's just going to take him round for the rest. I think Frodon is that quick for a 3 miler. He will just ping.
Yeah, I think the trouble that you find
for the first 4 or 5, and then Native River is just a championship race, a horse race in this sort of race. He just relentless. I think when Frodon has horses upsides him, he tends to make more mistakes, and I think Frodon will make a couple of mistakes in the early start, of the race.
Yeah,
and I think after that,
Bryony may find is that with Frodon, to get the best out of him, he has to lead. But the problem that you'll get there is that he might not get the distance. What they would ideally do with him is get some cover, hope for a slow pace, and get him home. But that just doesn't work for him. And like you say, when he's got horses around him, he tends to make more mistakes.
Yeah. If Native River wasn't in it, I'd give him a hell of a chance, Frodon. He's got a brilliant... I mean, the stats tell you everything. The King George is a very good pointer for this race. Even if you don't win it, it's still a good pointer. They always run well.
He'll give her a good spin, like.
Except from Clanders Oboe. But the thing is, if who just doesn't stay, the thing is, if Frodon didn't have Native River, if he got a freebie up front, my word, he would go close. But he's not going to get it. He's really not going to get it, and that would put me off him because, like I said, I think he needs a sort of a freebie up front, gets into his own rhythm and sets the pace. I don't think he's going to get that. I think Native River will want to go quicker by about 4 fences in, and Dickie Johnson will be round the side of him, pushing him on. We're not going this pace, Brian. You're in the Gold Cup now, love. We'll be flying here. We'll be pinging the fifth, bosh, and then Frodon's thinking, "Shite, I better get back here and try and keep up with him." He'll be gone probably by then. I think he'll throw the towel in a little bit. I love the horse. I just don't think he'll do this. Santini, right? This I said earlier on through the week. There was 2 horses that had really annoyed me, right? Pissed me off basically for how they'd been campaigned. One was Altior, and this one, Santini. Oh, what are they doing? Why are they running him at Kempton? Why? Because the thing is, I don't get it. Because they ran him in to be fair, they ran him in at Aintree, was it Aintree?
Yeah.
Yeah. And look, you can't do anything about that. It was a flat race. Lakeview lad won it. Half the fences was taken out. 9 fences, I think they jumped, of 18 or something.
In the Grand National. He must be top weight, is he?
Who?
Santini.
Oh, yeah, he would be. He won't go for that.
10.
He won't go for that.
I don't think.
No.
Maybe next year.
No, when he wins this, he won't. But no, I don't think he'll go for that. Look, the ground as well was okay, and I think you saw him there. The fact that he managed to get, people saying he's slow. Come on, look at Frodon, look at Native River. They're slow. Native River's slow. He beat him all ends up. It was a virtual flat race, over 3 miles, and Native River was beaten. Frodon was a mile behind. Without the fences, he's nothing, is he? Because Santini, the slow boat, was only just beaten by a Lakeview lad, who, to be fair, was cruising on the bridle. But I think that proved he wasn't slow. Then he went around at Kempton, which I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe my eyes when they said they'd supplemented him for this race. What a waste of money. What are you doing? I don't get it. Unless this is a master plan from Nicky Anderson, which I think he has to run well in this. Because otherwise, I'd be turning around and looking at myself and thinking, what we've just had the neck second from the Gold Cup in 2020. And what are we doing with this horse? What are we doing campaigning? You're a neck behind. Another 5 strides, you'd have won it. And look at how they've campaigned him. The Cotswold Chase, to be fair, you can't do anything about that. That was meant to be run at Cheltenham. It was obviously run at Sandown, heavy ground. They're not going to have that here. We know that now. So that's fine. I've got no worries. Look at how Aidan Coleman rides him. He was getting a telling, wasn't he, before the race? Don't you dare be laying into this horse, because you watch that race back. Aidan Coleman, I could have ridden him without Aidan Coleman was riding him. He was sat on him. He didn't do anything.
I'd like to see that.
He just sat on him. Dan,
I have to say, I absolutely admire your enthusiasm here.
He just sat on him, though. He just watch how he rides. He doesn't even ride him. He just sits him and just says, "Yeah, we'll just coast home here. We've given it a go." He was never going to win that race. He was never going to win the Kempton race. He was never going to win the Aintree race. This race, he can win it. And good to soft ground. They've got the cheap pieces on him. No, they've got the visor on him, I think, haven't they? They've changed it up. They've got the visor on him. If that sparks him up, the thing is with him, he's going to be getting pushed along. You know that. He's not going to be able to go the pace.
But he responds.
But you look who's coming up that hill at the end. If he's like Altior. If he's there within jump the last and he's 5 or 6 lengths down,
he's got a chance.
Yes, he has indeed. He will fly like a rocket, mate, like the Zanahiyr. He will fly up that hill. I'm telling you. People are writing this lad off.
He's certainly not parked in NASA anyway.
He loves Cheltenham. This is the Gold Cup second from last year, and people are writing him off. People, Kemboy. Hell, who would I rather back at, Santini or Kemboy? A Kemboy that's not even bloody got round. I can't believe that Kemboy's 10-1 and Santini's 12s. Purely on Cheltenham form.
So in summary, you're backing Santini then?
I backed him already. I think I'll probably have a little bit more on him again. But the one to win it is Boum Photo. I think last year's Gold Cup was ran slow, and I think this year It's going to be run fast. It'll suit both
Same
horses.
forecast again, do you reckon?
Very well could be. If Aplutar is the spanner in the works, but would I be surprised if Santini and Boum Photo were the 1-2? Not in a million years. I would not be surprised at all.
But yeah, Aplutar for me.
Yeah, same for me. Aplutar.
And Boum Photo for me, especially if he's 3-1 or plus on the day, I'll be having a big bet on him. But Santini has got a right chance for me.
Shout each way to Ken Boy though. Come on, to Ken.
God.
But yeah, I think will we round it up by giving our naps? So that's the 4 days done. Obviously, in the handicap videos, and I think we've obviously quite enjoyed it. We hope you've enjoyed it too. I think the plan is to maybe do a wee weekly racing roundup and a wee bit of a preview for the weekend, going to lead into the flat, a wee bit of Cheltenham review. Yeah. Before we do the naps, I'm going to be I'm going to be speculative and put up a wee bet for the 2022 Cheltenham Festival. Look, I'm putting it up on the basis that Monkfish is currently 7-1 for the Gold Cup. When he wins next Wednesday, he's going to be 3-1. So you're getting your value at 7-1. He looks a Gold Cup type all over him. Trained by Willie Mullins. Yes, I love Envoy Allen, but I would concede to back into Monkfish here because Monkfish has proved that he can be the Gold Cup type. Envoy Allen hasn't tackled 3 miles yet. Not that it'll be a problem, but I think I might back both of them because I think the winner next year is out of Envoy Allen and Monkfish. So I think if you're backing the two of them and you have a level stake, you're going to make a good profit because you can get good odds around the two of them now. So I think over the weekend, I have all my bets placed for next week. So I think over the weekend I might have a wee play on those two. Shishkin's 5-1 for the Champion Chase. Energamine, yes, we know he's pulled out today, but Energamine, I know Energamine. Shishkin would have won next week anyway. He's going to win the Champion Chase next year. Monkfish and Shishkin is 41-1 next year. That's value because that's going to be half the price next week.
Yeah, I'm
going to back this weekend. I'm going to have 2 singles and the double.
Yeah,
we'll be back next week for a Cheltenham review where I'll probably throw up a few more speculative things. But yeah, I've had a blast. I think we'll finish with our naps, stick them in the travel, and call it a night.
So then we'll start with you, George. What is your nap of the festival? Not Fusel Raffles.
I've speculatively I've priced this up because I think we discussed this already. I think I know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
Well, nap of the festival or the day?
Well, I think well, if you want a nap of the day first, go with a nap of the day.
I'll give you a nap of the day first. I think in the Albert Bartlett, Ashdale Bob at 25-1 is a massive price. I'm not sure if he'll beat Statler, but I think he'll definitely play.
I'll keep it simple. Zanahiyr.
And I will not do my nap of the festival. So I'll go with the Gold Cup because I won't go with the Triumph like you. And I'll say Boum Photo to make it 3 out of 3.
So then we're going to go for nap of the festival then?
Nap of the festival, George?
The festival, no surprise, Bob Bollinger for the Ballymore.
Lovely stuff.
That's not who I priced up, so I'll have to reprice it here to give the viewers a price. I just don't think Monkfish is going to be beat, so I'll just bump Monkfish in to bump up the value.
And I think you know what mine is. Elimay, the wheelbarrow job.
So
Elimay.
When we spoke about this already, I think George had mentioned appreciate it. So now I'm going to change it to Bob Bollinger.
We'll get a better price.
Appreciate it will win too. And based on
here's me looking at the 12. Here, I clicked in the Ballymore market there and seen Kilcut 14. And when I goes flipping, I'm a year too far ahead.
While you're there, have a look at the Marsh. What prices appreciate it to win the Marsh next year? That'll be my one for next year, I reckon.
I was going to put him up next week in the review. He's 25-1.
25-1. There you go.
So what saying,
if you want to keep on going in this trend, Energamine will win the round or two.
What's the price of the treble? And we'll do that next week. We need winners next week before we start.
Bet 365, best price 12.5-1. Bob Bollinger to win the Ballymore, Monkfish to win a Brown Advisory, and Elimay to win the Mars Chase.
There we go. A tenner on makes you 135 quid, ladies and gentlemen. The treble that's going to win. Let's hope. It's been class. It's been very good to chat. Absolute pure shite chat on this. So
swear word of the day.
We'll probably look back at all this and see how many losers we managed to pick, but say, we got a good price on that one, didn't we? So we'll be okay. Cheers, guys. Anything more to add, George, before we finish?
No, I think that's it. Just good luck to everyone. Hopefully it's a profitable week. Win your money on the Tuesday and the Wednesday, and then just chill out on the last 2 days.
Yeah, make sure to gamble responsibly, everybody. Only bet what you can afford. Obviously, that is the motto that we have to give out, especially for this week. Do not do your bollocks on the Tuesday.
That is the motto. Bet responsibly, do not do your bollocks.
Yeah, and
especially on Santini.
Yeah, that's it. Make sure. No, that should be just do not back Santini. But yeah, let's hope you have a great week, and let's hope you have a few days
everyone
as well.
have a blast.
Make some dough. Cheers, guys. Thanks for
See
watching.
ya.